Over the last 200 and so years, waterways have become contaminated. The eel population has slowed down, and we're trying to tell the authorities that we need to change either our farming practices, our dumping practices, even our mortuary waste going into the system is not helping to give us clear, clean water. The paru in the water is not actually helping our species. So if it's not helping eels, it's not helping all the other invertebrates and everything else that's in the water as well. So from my perspective, we need to do more.
We're at the top of Te Kahu. There's a dump here and it's leaking toxins into our rivers and into the ocean.
So Kahu was a great chief, and as we say, he would be very sad to see his land today. As recently as 1950, this was a Awapuni moana, so it was actually a thriving community. Kai moana was abundant and all the freshwater species were abundant as well.
It was real peaceful here and the waters are real clean, like crystal clear.
Unfortunately, against the will of the owners, the lagoon was drained, so the people had to move on. A road was put through, dissected the whenua, and then to top it all off, landfill was put on top of it, again against the will of the landowners or the people of the tangata whenua.
Now the dump site is leaking toxins into the Awapuni stream and other streams nearby. The eels have been getting more sick. We've been finding more dead eels than we would have 5 years ago or so.
So in the last 20 years, we've seen a terrible decline, and we've had to prove to the council, who is in charge of the landfill, that the leachate or the toxic poisons are leaking out of the landfill, getting into the streams, into the rivers and out to sea, and it's polluting everything. Our eels aren't safe to eat anymore, and as we saw by the sign at the front of the gate, neither is the air safe to breathe. So we've lost our connection with the land, the water, and even now the air. I don't think this is unique, unfortunately. I think there are many other landfills in the same situation. We've seen that with Southland example, Fiordlands, where they've been put next to rivers flood and it all gets washed out into the sea. And the same with the water quality and the tuna. So what we find is it's really important and it's exciting to have involved school children because the rangatahi of today are the rangatira of tomorrow, so we've really got to impart that knowledge on how things are, because what we've found over time, well, since I was younger, things have deteriorated and have degraded, so the quality of the water has gotten worse. There's less eels. The eels that we do find are either sick or not safe to eat. So it's important that our children understand that, so that they can see that it's a problem and then challenge the authorities that are in charge of that to help improve and change that negative sort of trajectory. We bring a class from Te Karaka Area School and from other kura, and we teach them everything from water quality to how to catch eels, what to look for with the tuna. So we show them that they don't have to be inside a classroom to learn to become scientists. They can actually use local curriculum, technology and tikanga.
We are at the Awapuni stream at the river mouth. We were pulling up hinakis. We found eels and fish, short fin and long fin tuna today. The difference between a long fin and a short fin is the long fin have wrinkles on their side of when they turn.
We set nets a night or 2 nights before, and then in the morning we would usually go to the place where we set the nets and test out the water quality with a little handy device, and then we'll go pick up the nets, see how many eels we have and then release them. I just want to see the waters thriving with fish and eels everywhere. It was weird that we caught a longfin eel, as it's not really their habitat. They like fast, rocky environments, but they've had to move down here because their environment they like to live in has been destroyed by toxins and human interference.
So to understand our connection with our tuna is to understand what's happened with our land and our moana and our awa. The tohu that showed us that there was something wrong with the Māori of our awa was that we were finding tuna that were dying or dead. The story I think it does tell is it's important to keep our connections with our awa. So we're still holding on with that tenuous line there, so we're involving our tamariki, our rangatahi, teaching them about how things were, how things are today, but more importantly how we want to see them in the future.